everyone, welcome back to my book nook. So today we're going to be discussing the complete works, tales and poems of Edgar Allan Poe. And I kind of want to break this review into two parts. I'm going to talk about the poems first. The poems, actually before I get into that, even Poe's not really known stuff has one really good theme going for him. He's very dark, he's very morbid, there's a lot of fascination with death. Even his stuff that's supposed to be more upbeat for Poe still has a lot of that morbid darkness, death focus in it. So now I'm going to break it down. In his poems, he's not known for, most of his works that he's known for are his prose. Known for his prose, then his poetry. The big poem that people know of when it comes to Poe is The Raven. And there's a reason for that. His poetry was not the most captivating. I'm reading it and I'm like, this is one of those times in which I'm like, okay, maybe I don't like poetry because I'm really not enjoying reading any of this. That one's not the case. There's been other poems and poetry that I like, and later on I will be talking about one huge poem that will be great for that. That's not really his forefront, but his prose, even his not really known ones, are still very, very well done. So, poetry-wise, I'm going to give it like a 3 out of 10. He clearly knows how to write. He can put imagery in, but outside of The Raven, something's just lacking there, and I'm not quite sure what it is, and one really, really good poem out of as many as he does not enough to bump that up higher than a 3. But his prose is a good 7.5. I enjoyed it, including his thing that he called a poem in prose form called Eureka, which is really very scientific, and if you have, it's talking about like the concept of space and all these other like, and the universe, and some stuff that I didn't really understand, but I was like, okay, this is really cool. And the narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket, which is about basically this person, Arthur Gordon Pym's various journeys via ship, which starts with him getting on a stowaway of one of his best friend's dad's ship and ends in, I believe, the South Pole, might be, and just some very interesting nuanced scenes throughout that I really thought was really cool. So yeah, prose-wise, great. I love some of the stuff that I hadn't read before with his, both of those the two that I mentioned at the end. And of course, rereading things like The Telltale Heart and The Black Cat is always a great time. Reading The Mask of the Red Death, wonderful. The imagery in his prose comes across so much better than I think it does in his poetry, and yeah. So if recommending it, if you don't care for poetry, you can skip right to the prose and you won't really miss anything, and that would be what I recommend. If you like poetry a lot and want to use that poetic, critical mind to possibly get stuff that I couldn't get, then sure, read his poetry, but I would more recommend reading any prose by Poe over any poetry by Poe. So, like the video, leave a comment if you would desire, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss when I put up other ones, and I'll see you next time. Bye!